Okay, I guess we're going to find out right away if I fixed all my settings. I think I did. Bunchy's back. But it's Bunch. I always get it backwards, so it's this way. Yes, Bunchy. There's Bunchy. And then that means up there, it's all opposite. The pink flame of liberty, little thingies there. Good, perfect, because I really screwed things up last time. This is going to be a short show. For one reason, I have to get ready to fly out tomorrow to Virginia. So this has been a long time coming. Oh, let me turn off this little heater here. I know I'll be cold, but... Okay. When I turned it off, my lighting changed. Did you see that? That's because the power down here is so wacky. That is so strange. And it's not letting me bring up my camera settings. How bizarre. Huh. Let me hit reset. No, that didn't help. I don't like how washed out I look. Let's see if we can fix this. Okay, now I know. Don't turn it off. Let's see what happens if I turn it back on. Let's see if my color changes again. No, it didn't change back. Or did it? That is so bizarre. Well, this is going to be... Here, that gave me a little more color. I'm messing with my color balance here. I don't really like how washed out it got there for a minute. There we go. I guess that's a little better. We're just going to leave it at that. Hello, H. Reardon. How are you doing? So I am flying out tomorrow to Virginia. And boy, what a journey this has been, hasn't it? So again, sorry if you can hear that noise down there, but the power circuit, I guess, down here is so weak that turning off the heater just sent a weird surge that messes everything up. So I'm just going to leave the heater on. Again, sorry if you hear the background hum. Won't do that next time. I'll turn it off before I start my camera. So flying out to Virginia, I know I'm just going all over the place, for their special convention. And when I say what a journey, it was on September 11th that Holly Ward and her just complete oligarchy who thought that they just had the authority to dissolve the party. Like, I just cannot even imagine what kind of ego and entitlement would make somebody think that. An ego the size of a blimp. But anyway, as I said, National's response to that at the time was pretty much LOL, okay. And the activists in Virginia all of a sudden became united. So thank you. Thank you for helping to unite the Virginia party. So tomorrow I'm flying out. But on Saturday, they are having their special convention in order to take care of electing new officers. There's just, I think, some governing document amendments and things like that. I've got to read back through their constitution and bylaws to be familiar with them again when I'm down there. Plus, they're still on Robert's 10th edition. That's definitely something that needs to be fixed. So I'm hauling down, I already stuck in my luggage, the 10th edition. So yes, I will be flying out tomorrow, so this is going to be a short show. But let me do like the YouTube stuff, because, you know, I need to learn to be a real YouTuber. So right there, if you like the channel, and even if you don't, I don't care if I get hate subscribers and hate watchers. Go right ahead. Please subscribe, like, and share. Up at the top there, if you'd like to follow me on my social media, my Twitter has blown up today. My Twitter has absolutely blown up. Because all I said was abolish public schools, and woo, that took off. So that's fun. So go follow me on Twitter. Twitter's become a lot more fun and interesting since Muskie took over. And lastly, is that it? Nope, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. Here we go. Lastly, if you enjoy this type of content and you would like to support me and my work, please consider going to Patreon at patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. I did update my patron list, so I'll have the new closing screen. But seriously, this has been a rough year for YouTubers. And if you could afford to become a patron and you are a regular watcher of this show, I truly, truly appreciate it. There is bonus content that goes up on Patreon. Plus, you get access to my private Discord server. It's not particularly active, but it can be as active as you want it to be. But there you definitely have my undivided attention. Okay, and hey, Paul. Paul is who's going to be picking me up at the airport tomorrow. I hope you're doing well. You probably... are you on Twitter? I keep forgetting, but I tagged Reason Magazine, too. I said I was leaving for Virginia for their special convention. I said, oops, looks like that dissolution didn't stick. Is Reason going to cover this just as eagerly or nah? I think we all know the answer. Nah. They won't cover this. They're all of a sudden deep and abiding interest in the Libertarian Party is only when they can trash it, apparently. And I like the guys at Reason. I don't like the content that's coming out, but I can separate that out from the people. Brian Dougherty's a friend of mine. Like, I like the guys over there, but do better. Hashtag do better. Hashtag LPBA is not dissolved. H. Reardon. Paul, can you answer H. Reardon? What city in Virginia is the convention in? I'm too old to remember all of that stuff. I go to so many states, not lately, but like even earlier this year, that I pretty much just trust. I get on a plane and I land where I land, and whoever's supposed to pick me up picks me up. And sometimes I go to the Southwest counter and they're like, where are you? They know me. They're like, where are you going this weekend? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. So, H. Reardon, Paul says, is that Ruther? Ruther Glen, Virginia. Okay, so let me pull up what we are going to be covering today. Again, it will... Oh, before I forget. Twitch. I had said multiple times, but I haven't in a while, that if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you may not know, but, Twitch subscriptions are paid, and they're paid through Twitch. But if you have an Amazon... Now, you can follow somebody for free, but you subscribe, it's paid. It's a little different than YouTube. And it gets rid of ads, because apparently Twitch has a lot of ads. But apparently if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can gift a month subscription to a streamer of your choice. So if you're not giving that to somebody, please do. And please do consider gifting that month to me. But if not me, some other streamer. Because otherwise Amazon just gets to keep it all. And it's a free benefit. It costs you nothing if you already have Prime. But the thing that's a pain in the ass about it, and I get why they do it, but it's not too good for the streamers, and I think it's a pain in the ass for their customers. But if you had at one point gifted your Amazon monthly Prime Twitch subscription to me, you have to renew it every month. It's a pain in the butt. But a bunch of people did it when I first asked, and I don't think they know. It drops off. You actually have to go in and renew it each month or when you remember. So if you did it in the past and you'd like to continue gifting that to me, you need to go into Twitch and do it, re-up it. You have to do it like every month or so. Or if you didn't know about any of this and you're like, wow, I didn't even know I had that benefit. Listen, Chickadee would love to get that. So again, that's Pink Flame of Liberty over at Twitch. Now we can get started. And I got Wayne's magnifying glass. Didn't you think that was cute? I bought us a set of magnifying glasses. I had pink. He had blue, but mine broke. I just had to throw it out. So I've got his. I'm going to order another pink one or something similar to it if Amazon still has that. So let's now go here. Yay. Oh, but my camera's not showing up. Why not? You know what? I think I messed that up when I did the power thing. So we're just not going to put it on the screen. I'm just going to let you know what it says. We're going to roll with it. Look, Ma, I'm getting better at YouTubing. And it's a lighted magnifying glass because I can't read this tiny thing. So, oh, look at this. I'm such an old lady, though. So, I showed you this title. A watch. I probably broke his now. And I'm going to have to order us. Hold on. Where'd it go? Of course, it slid. Oh. Of course, it slid way, way, way back there. Okay. So, I think I showed you this title before. And it was mentioned in that newspaper article I read last time where it said the libertarianism was a middle-class philosophy, or it said something to that extent. But there's this headline that we're going to go over for today, and it says, Thoughts of an Editor, Mobilize Middle Classes on Issues by Bill Evers. And didn't we read something different from Bill Evers earlier in this same month? Well, we'll find out. And again, there's that absolutely 1970s LP News logo. I want to find that font or a font similar to it. I need to put it in What's a Font and see if it can find a font for me. If you don't know what that is, if you've ever been curious about finding a font, there's an app you can put on your phone. And you take a picture of whatever typeface it is you're looking for, and it will search the web for the closest, or it will identify it for you. It's pretty cool. I use What's a Font a lot. Now, I know this isn't a standard font. This is like from the 70s, but there's probably something very similar to it. Okay. So, mobilize middle class on issues. Look at me and my magnifying glass. I feel like I'm the little old lady on the YouTubes, the tubes of the U. Okay. After the 1974 elections, several burning questions faced the libertarian movement, and especially its organizationally most advanced sector, the Libertarian Party. I'm just not even going to say anything. It's pretty sad if we're their most organized sector. One is the question of constituency. To whom should activists communicate our stance on issues and our overall principles? Whom are we trying to mobilize? I like that they used whom properly, because I think most people in composing that sentence would have said, who are we trying to mobilize? But whom is, in fact, correct. A second question is learning the best way to benefit from the experiences of thousands of individual libertarian activists spread across the United States and increasingly across the world. A third question is what sort of response should we expect from the people we try to reach? Are we expecting immediately large vote totals and vastly enlarged libertarian organizations? And a fourth question is what issues we should seize upon and how we should bring them to the public's attention. By the way, I just go on rabbit trail, so you all know. You all are my friends, you know. I got answers to those RCV questions I said I was going to ask the RCV people in Colorado. I'll do a separate show on it, but I wanted to let you know I did get answers. And JJ, if you're still here, I listened to the National Association of Parliamentarians town hall today, and I'm just thoroughly confused. And they asked you to put questions in the chat, well, in the Q&A because it was a webinar, and I put several questions. And President Sims at the end is, oh, well, that's the end of the questions. They totally ignored my questions. Completely ignored my questions. And then even wasn't like, well, we're out of time. If we didn't get to your question, you can write us. Nope. They said, nope, that's it for questions. And I'm like, okay. But it was a town hall on what the new RP exam's going to look like. And it looks like it's going to be vastly improved from that cluster of the past few years. And you want to know what I learned tonight? Nobody made it through the entire last new RP exam. Not because it was too hard or anything, but because nobody graded them. I am one of the people that got farthest along. No one made it into Section 3. I was at the end of Section 2. So it turns out that I've got my RP twice now because they decided that Section 3, I guess, was superfluous, and anyone who made it through, actually, you didn't even have to make it all the way through Section 1. You had to do Sections 1 through 7 in Part 1, and attempt Section 8 in Part 1, and they gave you your RP. I finished all of Part 1, and I was waiting for my grades on the last section of Part 2. I was heading into 3. So apparently, if I didn't take the legacy exam in December, I would have gotten awarded my RP. So I guess I've doubly got it. I still feel extraordinarily ripped off and my chain jerked around. I'm glad they're fixing it for all the people who will take it in the future. But I think they needed to do a little bit more personal reaching out to the people that went through this nightmare, which was apparently, I think the number they said of people who were signed up for it was 255, something like that. 81 people made it past the point in order to get the RP. Like 111 people, they said, just dropped out. Yeah, because they were super frustrated. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know that. But the new exam sounds fantastic. I'll say that. The new exam sounds fantastic. But because I didn't get to finish this one, which I paid for, one of my questions was, wait, this doesn't seem exactly fair. You just pretty much gave nearly everybody just their RP, just to, not to just get rid of them, because they honestly said, and I agree with them, that I wouldn't say just the first section, though. I think you had to do the first and second section for this statement to be true, but, reasonable people could disagree. Somebody asked the question, so are we now the people, the 81 who got their RP from just finishing up through whatever the requirement was, Section 1, they go, are we going to be looked down upon like we're the middle of a failed experiment? And what was said was, no, actually, this last new RP exam was way harder than the 1200 question one, and anyone who made it to this point actually took a harder test. Even though you didn't finish all 3 parts, they kind of admitted all 3 parts were ridiculous to expect at this level. They didn't say this, but the distinct impression I got is they expected that more like like they made it way too hard. So, anyway, but the fact is, I paid for 2 tests. I want to get completely through 2 tests. So one of my questions was, wait a minute, I wasn't one of those 81 because they didn't count people who they said dropped out and took the legacy exam. I didn't drop out and take the legacy exam. I wrote them and asked them if I could take the legacy exam and continue on since I paid for this test, and they said yes. So I took additional modules. I did additional assignments after I already had my RP. So I didn't drop out, but I think I'm included in that 111. I don't know. No, they said, no, excuse me. There was like 18 people they said dropped out and took the legacy. I didn't drop out. I want to take the full new test. So my question was, when this new test comes out, can I take it? Do I have to pay again? Like, I really think that for the people who they say dropped out and took the legacy exam, which means they paid a second fee, that we should get refunds. That we should get refunds on that new RP exam. Apparently, it's like about 15 to 18 people. I think as a show of good faith, they should offer us a refund. Honestly. And I am going to write them and let them know this. It's not that many of us, and we ended up having to pay twice. That's not right. That is absolutely not right. Or if they can't see their way clear to give refunds, then allow us to gift a taking of the new test to somebody else. Because I would love to gift one to Mike Seebeck. Let him take the new one. That's crazy, but I am writing them because I feel monumentally ripped off, and like 2 years of my life were wasted. Anyway, rant over. If you've been thinking about taking your RP, the new test starts in January, and I'm going to honestly say it sounds fantastic. It really, really does. Their new whatever committee that handled this, the guy gave a great presentation, and it sounds like they really got their crap together. Okay, back to mobilize middle classes. Went on a little parliamentary rant there. To guide us in the time ahead, the answers to such questions must fit together in an integrated, coherent fashion. We should develop an outlook that gives us a helpful, consistent, strategic orientation to the work before us. A candid look at the ranks of the libertarian movement shows that while we come from all walks of life, a good many of us are college students and young professionals. I don't know how true that is today. I really don't honestly know the demographics of the Libertarian Party, except we're 99% autistic, we're 98% white, and probably 80% men. I think that's probably a pretty good guess. But as far as socioeconomic classes or blue collar, white collar, I really don't know. And as far as age range, I don't know either. I think we still do skew younger, but I'm not sure. Indeed, the slight caricature of the Free Libertarian Party in the pages of Newsweek, and I ordered that Newsweek, so we'll see, would show us to be young swingers who hang out in Manhattan's single bars. Hedonistic conservatives. I guess the insult never goes away. Republicans who want to smoke pot. Okay. It is natural that a movement which aims at major social change would have a significant core of activists who are students or professionals. Such people work with ideas in their day-to-day life. I find that kind of insulting. Like, I don't know. I felt weird reading that. People, ditch diggers, like the utter blue collar, they work with ideas in their day-to-day life too. I did not like that. I did not like the way that's, no. But a major social transformation of the institutions governing liberty and property cannot be achieved by graduate students and young persons in business and law. This is too narrow a social base. We ultimately have to bring the mass of the population with us in setting up a society of total liberty. I'm going to go into a lot of commentary here. I'm thinking of going through Jonathan Haidt's book, The Righteous Mind, after we're done with the problem of political authority, which is patron-only content. I am becoming more and more convinced of political determinism. And this idea that we're going to turn the mass of the United States libertarian, I think is ignoring that. And I'm not saying political hard determinism, but a pretty medium political determinism. Like, I don't think it's like set in stone, but I do think we're born predisposed to certain values, and they're formed in your early life. But so that means it's just a pipe dream to think that a country as large and diverse is going to turn libertarian, which is why I think the next major phase of human political development will be, I don't even have a word, panarchy, basically. And the closest we get to that right now is the national divorce idea. For instance, like the conversations I was having on Twitter today with people over public schools, the people who oppose me, they're not bad people. They just have fundamentally different core values. And they should be able to live in a society with those core values. That's big government, and we all have to pay our fair share and all that other trite stuff. But that's not me. And they are coercively And it's not even them personally. The system is coercively making us all band together. And that's not fair to anyone, because the people who disagree with us aren't bad people. They're allowing their core values to authorize bad things, such as coercion, but they just don't see it that way yet. And I'd like to see something where everybody gets what they want. If you want your big government, you can keep your big government. No, thank you, ma'am. I don't want it. Not today, Satan. Okay. So, I don't think this is true, that we have to bring the mass of the population. Not only do I not think it's true, I don't think it's realistic. And also, let's just pretend like that was. What's the statistic? I think a lot of people pull this out of their booty hole, but I'm going to pull it out of my booty hole too. What did they say? At the time of the American Revolution, was it 3%, 4% of the population actually actively supported it? It was under 10. So if we could get under 10%, well, that's doable. But if people want big government, shouldn't they be allowed to have it as long as everybody who's in it actually does consent and want it? Okay, decentralized form. The Libertarian movement and the LP are wisely decentralized in organizational form. This means that organizers on the spot can utilize their knowledge of the locale in which they operate. We must take our political philosophy and apply it to current problems. We must have an accurate historical knowledge of how the current situation came into being. Each of us must have a broad, journalist-type familiarity with the political arena in which he or she is operating. Each of us must learn from vast amounts of day-to-day practical political work. An organizer must learn from the work of libertarians elsewhere in the country as well as from his or her own work. God, that's a mouthful. They is so much more serviceable there. I know JJ corrected me on that the other day, but sorry, they used in this context has been in English for a long, 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 long time. And there was something else, and it just flew out of my head. Oh, this is historical. This isn't a rant about parliamentary stuff. So in some research I was doing today for some ballot access stuff, I was alerted to an old page on lp.org that's in the Wayback Machine that has some executive committee minutes that we didn't have on Lpedia. And I'm like so excited. It's about 10 sets of executive committee minutes. I'm like, woohoo, treasure trove. Okay. That you can see how that makes me so happy. I was seeing somebody just get so happy over minutes and bylaws. Naturally, a person on the spot in a given locale has the best information on what groups are ripe for libertarian ideas, but such an evaluation should bear in mind our ultimate goal of mass support. Middle classes. We want to set up a situation in which the bulk of the broad middle strata of the American population, including students, professionals, service employees, clerks, the industrial proletariat. What in Marxist hell are you talking about? Okay. Employees in light industry, small businessmen, shopkeepers, regularly employed unskilled laborers. What about people who aren't regularly employed? I don't know. This article, I'm not a fan. Non-corporate farmers. Wouldn't we want to convert the corporate farmers and then maybe they'd become non-corporate farmers? Butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers will turn to the organized libertarian movement if they lose faith in the existing political system. Well, nearly everyone today has lost faith in our existing political system, and they still haven't turned to libertarianism. The goal of a libertarian society is everything. The size of the movement, the number of votes we get in the interim are nothing as compared to the ultimate goal. They are important only insofar as they serve that goal. We have need of political education and reforms that expand the sphere of liberty. Votes and serious electoral politics campaigns can help make up a principled force to be reckoned with and listened to. But since our goal has a much deeper purpose than just getting people to pull the lever for LP candidates, electoral setbacks and successes are not the be-all and end-all for us. Now, I agree with that. That's tweetable. I'm going to be tweeting that. And that's just going to trigger the hell out of people. There's some people who've forgotten that we're about liberty. Okay, and we're in this party because we believe it's the best vehicle for liberty. But the ultimate goal, at least in my view of the LP, is to make the LP not necessary.
Here's what I found.
What? Siri thought I was talking to her. And she said, here's what I found. And I don't know. This is what Siri looked up. Liquid phase micro extraction, an overview from ScienceDirect.com. Siri, what the hell? I didn't say that. That was bizarre. Oh boy. Okay. I think maybe the heat is getting to my watch, so I'm putting it over there because Siri just nutted up. Okay, this article continues on the last page, but I was looking for where it started, and my eye was drawn to something out of just the bits and pieces news. There's a little headline here, pornograph record. I've never seen the word pornograph, like without the Y. So pornography without the Y. What? What's a pornograph record? Is that like vinyl, like an LP that has dirty stories or something on it? We're going to read this paragraph because I'm dying to know what a pornograph record is. And why is this in LP News? Pornograph record. Oh, what? No? Okay, we'll just read it. In New York State, Governor Malcolm Wilson criticized Democratic Lieutenant Governor candidate Marianne Krupsack for voting against a tough anti-pornography bill. She told voters she believed in freedom of speech. She won. He lost. Nassau County District Attorney William Kahn had a television ad in which he stood in top of a dirty books shop and stated that he kept the garbage out of Nassau because we are parents, not prudes. He lost decisively. I still don't get what pornograph record has to do. Yeah, maybe it's a typo because I'm just like, pornograph? Is that like autograph but dirty? I'm going to give you a pornograph. Ooh la la.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow.
Oh, God. The next headline is counterfeiting for fun and profit. This is going to be a future episode. I'm not going to go on to the next one, but these little headlines are intriguing me. But we're continuing with mobilizing middle class. Suppose many of us suspected a month or two ago that the federal government would eventually impose mandatory gasoline rationing. We might have picked this up from reading newspaper articles, from TV and newspaper editorials, urging the president to do something. From the pronouncements of Democratic politicians and the Ford regime's energy administration bureaucrats. Our hunch might even be wrong. Such evaluation is an art, not a science. Under the circumstances, we might have done well, especially with more numbers, more income, and increased division of labor. But even in our present condition, to review and analyze the economic work from M.A. Adelman to D.T. Armentano, and the historical work from Gerald Nash to Harvey O'Connor that exists on the petroleum industry. From these, we could cull information, possibly for a research report to be sent to local libertarian groups or possibly for future press releases. Though I don't always like their work, this is now what think tanks like Cato do. Their papers that they put out. Just saying. At the same time, we would search for ideas on how to dramatize the libertarian position on the issue, and we would investigate what groups might be susceptible to our message. Service station owners, taxi drivers, automobile commuters, like these is just weird. Independent truckers? Question mark. The model of seizing upon issues can be applied to other local and national issues. Next subheadline, must not escape. We must not let issues escape us. Boy, isn't that the theme of the last LNC? They let the biggest opportunity in this party's history escape them utterly. Well, they did hashtag wear masks. Hashtag fuck off. We must not let issues escape us. Libertarians are still kicking themselves for not being in the leadership of anti-draft activities during the 1960s. And libertarians are now kicking themselves for not being in the forefront of anti-mandate or kind of soft anti-mandate, but still do the dumb thing that turns out now everyone who was saying it was a dumb thing was right. And supporting the dumb thing, there's a direct line on that to the fact that you had the government imposing such restrictions that people had to watch loved ones die over Zoom. I blame each and every person that just like perpetuated that. That is just obscene. That's pornograph. That's just obscene. Furthermore, we must remain alert to keeping a balance of civil liberties and economic liberty issues in our repertoire. What is needed are vivid exposures of what government officials and those who have influence with them are doing at present in all problem areas. We need as well pamphlets, informed political candidates, radio TV replies, protest marches, and letters to the editors of local papers. Internally, we need a regular vehicle for sharing the organizational experience of a geographically scattered movement. The LP Organizers Bulletin Action. I don't think I've ever seen this public. What is this action of which you speak? Is this a publication that I'm first learning of right now? My God, anyone out here who's been in the party forever, ever hear of a activist bulletin? Or what did they call it? Organizers Bulletin called Action? May help fill this void. All this and more is necessary to raise the political consciousness of the population, to make it aware of and favorable toward libertarian solutions to current crises and our overall goal of a free society. Okay, well, there was some good stuff and some not so good stuff in that article. And it could be just different writing styles. I mean, that was 1974. I need a nail file. I hate when that happens. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. So I will perhaps try to stream some over the weekend, but probably not. I'm going to be very busy interacting with Virginia people. I'm splitting a hotel room to help conserve costs. Yay. So I won't have all that alone time to stream. But if I can, I will. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a live stream, just streaming a little bit of the convention. People usually like that. But otherwise, what? Do I have anything this upcoming Monday? I don't think I do. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday evening. So until then, have an awesome weekend. And again, I might talk to you, I might not. But either way, bye-bye.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians, or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.